Could this year's Golden State Warriors team be the greatest shooting squad of all time from three-point range? I'll give you that answer coming up.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast.
What are they going to say now?
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, how are you? Welcome into Locked On Warriors. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. If your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to the website, FanDuel.com. Download that app to get started. My name's Charlie Walter, formerly 95.7 The Game in San Francisco. That's the flagship station of the Golden State Warriors. Cover the team on TV for CBS News Bay Area. Locked On Warriors, you can check out the show Monday through Friday. We go live after every single game. Once preseason starts, when that horn hits, we'll be here on YouTube. Audio podcast drop in the morning, wherever you get your podcasts. On today's show, we're talking three-party. The Golden State Warriors, are they the greatest three-point shooting team of all time come late June? We're going to debate that, plus Jimmy's impact on not only the three-point shooters, but also the team as a whole, as he's hosting a camp right now, a team mini camp with everyone but Jonathan Kuminga in San Diego, and Media Day Monday. Any chance we see Batman and Robin, and maybe an Einstein wig from Buddy Hield as he comes in as Alfred, although Alfred, based on the movies at least, Michael Keaton, He didn't have an Einstein wig. Anyways, that's what I always imagined Alfred looking like. Let's start with the question simply and leave your thoughts in the comments. Are the Golden State Warriors going to have the greatest three-point shooting team of all time? I'll talk about some sensationalism right out of the gate. No, the answer is no, they're not. But they could be up there. They could be very good from three-point range. But the greatest three-point shooting team as of now is surprisingly not the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors. That's the second best team percentage-wise at 41%. Now, I'm sure it's got to be the team that took the most threes that made the best percentage, considering the Charlotte Hornets, who hold the best percentage of all time from three-point range at 42%. 92, that'd be a stretch. It's the 96-97 Hornets team that actually featured Del Curry, who shot 42% from three. They had Muggsy Bogues, and leading the way from deep was actually Glenn Rice, who shot at 47% from three that season. Don't imagine there's going to be a player that shoots 47% from three for the Warriors this season. However, one of the guys that we are burying in our conversations because we don't expect him to have a big role in this year's squad whatsoever. At this point, he kind of is who he is age-wise, and that is Seth Curry, who is 35 years old. Actually, scratch that, just turned 36 in August. Curry, though, did shoot at 45% from three on some volume last season, hitting about a three a game, hit 83 of 182 for the season. 45%, that's nice. Buddy Hield statistically had one of his worst three-point seasons, but he was good for a couple games a month where he'd go 8 for 10, and it was that secret sauce that I told you about all season long, where if Buddy scored more than 18, the Warriors were just about guaranteed to win. And we saw it come to fruition in Game 7 against the Houston Rockets, where Buddy hit 9 of them. Does that sound right? Had like 7 in the first half and put the game on ice. But Buddy's someone that can go 40% from three. Hell, the graphic that I have on YouTube, because I didn't want to include any speculative players, it's just Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, Brandon Podziemski, and you may say, well, Pods isn't a proven 40% level three-point shooter in the NBA. That's what I think he's trending towards. Last year, he had stretches where he was bad and still wound up at 37%. I think by next season, it could be significantly better than that, and we can get 39% from him. Moses Moody was quietly 37% last season. Okay. Quentin Post, who was on that graphic as well, 40% from three-point range a season ago. Al Horford's someone that even in his old age can knock down 40% from three. They're going to chuck up a lot of them. We know this. They took 42 a game last season, did the Warriors. That was second in the NBA to only the Boston Celtics. They hit fourth most in the NBA a season ago. However, the percentage was just 36% overall, which was right in the middle of the NBA at 16th. Milwaukee actually led the association on lesser volume, but they shot at nearly 39% from three, not even close to that 42% record-setting season from the Charlotte Hornets. But when you look at what at the top of the roster in terms of shooting, they got some dudes that could put the ball in the bucket. Anyone in the NBA, minus maybe Tyler Hero and throw in two other names, they're beating just about anyone. Warriors have some pure shooters. Out of 7-footers in the NBA, throw in Al Horford and Quentin Post, and I don't think you're getting any 7-footers, at least a tandem of 7-footers that are knocking down at a clip that those two can hit. Buddy Hield, we mentioned him, but Brandon Pajemski, Moses Moody, potentially high upside shooters. They got dudes that could put the ball in the basket. And not only that, they got the read and react offense to where they can get good looks, especially corner looks, which they say is one of the great shots in basketball. They can get good looks, and the question will be the wild cards of the bunch, the Moses Moody's, the Brandon Pajemskis. We can call Al Horford a wild card. Let's say DeAnthony Melton is signed to the team along with Gary Payton, who are the other expected roster additions. Payton, we know what he brings three-point wise. It's not consistent. But DeAnthony Melton's someone that can shoot upper 30s. Maybe you could get a 38% season from him. This team's going to chuck up a lot of threes, and a lot of them are going to be clean looks based off just the offense that they've ran now for forever, and based off how good of a roll man, whether it's short roll or all the way to the on is, it just getting downhill, kicking out corner three for shooters first before he goes with that little turnaround or tries to muscle his way up to the bucket. So they're going to shoot a ton. They're going to make a ton. At what clip are they going to make them is the question. Best three-point shooting team of all time? Most likely not. I find it hard to believe that they will be better than that 2015-2016 Warriors team. If you want to point to that, is the best shooting team in history. But really, you can point to an entire era of Warriors basketball and say, no, it was that team. That a lot of good Warriors shooting teams. But Jimmy's impact on the team overall is the players, including the ones that aren't even signed, working out right now with the Warriors, minus Jonathan Kuminga in San Diego. Jimmy Butler's hosting a little team camaraderie mini camp ahead of Media Day on Monday. We're going to talk Media Day. We're going to preview Warriors basketball. It is just about here. We'll get some quotes on Monday, and we'll be ready to rock as preseason is right around the corner. It has been a brutal summer. We all know why. For Warriors fans, the inactivity has been, it sucked. And hopefully this team will be better than that. That's what we're talking about coming up on Locked On Warriors. Let's tell you about America's #1 sportsbook. It is FanDuel. Now is the time to get in with FanDuel because of some of the rewards you can get. I'm talking great rewards that just have you ready for kickoff. If you bet $5 across the app and your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets that you can also use across the app. And the ways you can use it are endless. You can go with player props. You can go with futures bets. You could go with live lines. You can pick up on a game in the 7th inning or the 3rd quarter or the 2nd half that's tied up and just pick a team and smooth sail your way to the cash register. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add a little more energy to your Sundays. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Also want to tell you about our friends over at Doer. If you have not gotten your pair of Doer jeans wear yet, now is the time to do it. There's so many great things and attributes that Dewar provides, but let's start with the fact that it's now local. It got a brand new store in Hayes Valley, so stop by. Other reasons I love them, they're versatile. You can wear them to the mall, you can wear them to the beach, you can wear them for a night out on town, you can even wear them to the gym. Now, do I advise it? Yeah, heck yes, I advise it. Jeans to the gym is in style nowadays, and they got 5 times the stretch of traditional denim, so you get that perfect fit without feeling restricted. They're like your comfiest joggers, but look like you're ready for a night out. It combines classic jeans wear style with the comfort and performance of athletic wear. It is the best of both worlds. Once you try them, they will be your go-to. Visit the new store. It's open at 567 Hayes Street in Hayes Valley. Mention my code LOCKEDONSF. You'll get 15% off your first order, or shop online at shopdewar.com/LockedOnSF. That is Dewar, D-U-E-R, for 15% off. All right, so we got into the Warriors' three-point shooting that they will have this upcoming season. It's interesting how everyone always talks about rim protection is one of the areas where the Warriors need to improve the most, yet they never really struggle with rim protection. A lot of that can be pointed to Draymond Green, how he's played defensively over the course of his career. And Al Horford is someone that, if added to the team, should help the Warriors a lot as well. Gonna pick his spots at this age. And with load management nights, you probably won't see him back to back. So there will be an importance placed on Quentin Post and maybe some of the bigger forwards that you expect to get in there and muck it up and get some rebounds, like a Guy Santos, and even a guard like a Gary Payton or Podziemski, for that matter, is a great rebounder for his position. But, I mean, protecting the basket, it's something that, yes, you would love a way to improve. But we heard Steve Kerr early in the offseason say, yeah, we'd love size, and positional size is huge, but we're not just going to grab size to grab it. We're not just going to go out and get 7'3" Bol because he's available and huge. Does he fit what we're trying to do? Now, that's a name that is always interesting when you get a 7'3" guy that could shoot threes that's not signed. And honestly, he would probably be best suited back in Orlando, who needs some shooting. And that's where he had his best season, but he's still available. But in terms of the rim protection that's out there, it goes back to what Steve Kerr said. Like, we're not just going to get a huge body to get a huge body. And the Capellas of the world, he went to Houston, and maybe, just maybe, this late in the offseason, you can get some form of a trade for Walker Kessler through Jonathan Kuminga, but I would not count on it. I would think that the Malik Monk or some form of a Sacramento Kings deal is the most likely deal that you will see, if that is the plan indeed, for trading Jonathan Kuminga. But rim protection, not perfect, but consistently it's been pretty good in years past. So you'll take it. In terms of the three-point shooting, like we said, it needs to improve from a season ago. At 36%, you need to get that thing up to 38%. Warriors have no reason to not be one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. And they were consistently better once Jimmy joined the team, because he's going to get you better shots. And when you have better shots, you're going to make more. You obviously need Steph on the floor as many games as possible to receive the benefits of his gravity and his gravitational pull that he provides, because if he's not on the floor, you saw what happened in the Minnesota series, where late in the shot clock, I mean, the best offense usually is just to get the ball to Jimmy Butler, and even if it's like a 25-foot ridiculous step-back three, for some reason he can make that shot. But when it wasn't Jimmy, the ball seemingly was in Moses's or Brandon's hand, or even sometimes Buddy's hand late in shot clock situations. And those aren't the dudes that you want creating their own three. You want them to get some spot-up looks. And that is something that, yeah, if Steph's not on the floor this season, the Warriors are screwed. Is as simple as that. And a lot of people are pointing to this, the age and the durability, and say, come on, Chuck, be realistic about this team. You could say that about any squad. Now, they're older. They've got some tread under the tires. They each had their injury issues last season, but they're coming into the season fresh and healthy. You can't say that about Houston. Fred VanVleet out for the season with a torn ACL. You can't say that about, God, who got the injury bug today? Why am I forgetting? Portland. Scoot Henderson, hamstring. He's out for months. It's already happening. And if the Warriors can go into the season healthy, that's all at this point you can take. Now, having Jonathan Kuminga on some form of a deal to where he was incentivized to score and play well in the opportunity, that would seemingly help you big time on some of those load management games. And if you don't have him, it's going to be, you would hope that not many Curry games where he's out at the same time as Jimmy Butler and you're just punting. They did that years ago with Clay and Steph in back-to-backs in I want to say it was 23. It may have been latter half of 22. But they got a lot of Jordan Poole nights, big Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins nights, and sometimes even Jonathan Kuminga nights. And if it's not Kuminga this season, who is it going to be that, let's say Jimmy and Al and Steph are all out at the same time? I guess it's Moses, Gee, Buddy, Post, and that's not a lineup that's going to win you many games, you wouldn't think. But Jimmy's impact when he's on the floor, we can't understate it. He is really good. ESPN listed him as the 18th best player in the NBA. On our Locked On poll, we had him at 29th, right behind Ja Morant. ESPN putting him at 18th. That just goes to show you, assuming he's in front of players like Siakam and Paolo Banchero and James Harden and Jaren Jackson and Trae Young and maybe even Ja Morant. I don't have that list in front of me right now, but assuming at least some of those players, goes to show you that it's not always about the stats. I didn't know how much of an upgrade he would be from Andrew Wiggins when that trade was made. And boy, was that one of the dumbest things that's ever come out of my mouth, because he is significantly better than Andrew Wiggins. And with him being on the team this season, it makes you feel at least decent going into the year that this team can be extremely competitive. Now, a lot of things would have to break their way, because it does seem like a two-horse race in the West right now, and that those horses would be the team that has the man that loves equestrian, Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, and then the team that hosts the player that is from horse country, or at least played his collegiate basketball in Lexington, home of Keeneland, and the Rough in the Bluegrass Stakes. That would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Why did I get into horses? Oh, the two horses in the West, Oklahoma City, Denver. I think it's safe to say. All right, media day on Monday. Will Jonathan Kuminga be there? If not, it's going to be a circus. Regardless, it could be a circus, because Jimmy Butler is always must-watch television or must-watch YouTube short clips when it comes to media day. Anything special coming this season? We're going to debate that coming up on Locked On Warriors.
And buddy, stop trying to dribble the ball.
Let me tell you about my favorite underwear. It is SKIMS, and they are making them now for men. I've heard so much hype about the quality from friends and family, and eventually I found some SKIMS actually down in, I think it was a Macy's, and I've always had issues with underwear, whether it's the fit, the comfort, just finding the right style. Boxer briefs are a little too loose, classic briefs. I'm not a fan of all of them, but this one changed my life. Truly, the perfect balance of comfort and style. My favorite was the Stretch 5 boxer briefs that don't have that synthetic workout material. They don't ride up. They're casual enough to wear out for a night in town, but at the same time, make no mistake, they are something that you would wear in the gym. It feels like you found the missing link when you try them. They give you all the movement you need for working out, never feeling restricted. Plus, they don't lose their shape. They don't ride up, and maybe it's in my head, but I swear, since I've been doing these things, the deadlift, we threw an extra plate on each side. Now, is it the green 10-pound plate? I plead the fifth. But the gains have improved from wearing these Stretch 5 boxer briefs. Shop for your own at SKIMS Mens at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey, select our show, Locked On Warriors, in the drop-down menu that follows, and get yourself some undies. All right, media day is on Monday, and what I want to know, and what I'm sure a lot of Warriors fans want to know, in his first rendition, in his first go-around down on Warriors Way, is Jimmy Butler going to show up in a Batman suit? I doubt it. But would it shock you? I mean, there was so much talk about the Batman and Robin, and it was a troll job by the end of the season. We know this, but Batman and Robin and Alfred, you don't think Jimmy Butler's giving that up and changing the vibes heading into this season. No, they're picking up right where they left off. You know, Two-Face got Batman in the Minnesota series. Two-Face got him. And since then, Batman has slayed Two-Face, and a bunch of other dudes stand in their way. Bane has, I guess, gone to the East in this case. Bane's in Orlando. But I think they're still going to ride with that storyline. And until I see it, I'm not going to 100% count out that Butler won't show up in at least a mask or something. Full Batman suit with the pecs and everything. That would be elite. Be wonderful for podcasting. Good material. I'm not fully expecting that, but you never know. Will Jonathan Kuminga show up to Media Day on Monday? A deal would have to be done for him to be there. Obviously, it's not happening. Voluntary mini camp right now that Jimmy Butler is holding in San Diego features everyone that's expected to be on the Warriors this upcoming season, and Jonathan Kuminga is not there. So he wouldn't be at Media Day Monday. And the last thing that you need, if you're the Warriors, or that you want, because at the end of the day, it's just words. They had to deal with it with the punch to some degree. Can't remember the exact questions, but that was definitely something that was involved, I would imagine. And they definitely had to deal with it when it came to Andrew Wiggins and his vaccine status that everyone was asking him about. Are you going to get the vaccine for the entire day? And he had to answer 17 different times, I don't want to talk about this. And people just kept asking. So that's what will happen. People will keep asking. There will be an opening comment made that we're not going to talk about the players that aren't here. And guess what? There will be a way to spin it to where TK and the fellas are going to ask about Jonathan Kuminga. And if that's the case, they're going to have to answer some things. And will it be good content for the show? Yes, of course it will. But will it be something that every single player on the Warriors wants to answer? And that is no. 1,000% no. So anyways, camera goes out on me right in time for the season. But if you can hear my voice, that's all that matters. And you can definitely hear my voice. So Media Day on Monday for Golden State. In terms of when the preseason begins, they tip it off with, I believe it's the Portland Trailblazers. I have the schedule. Rather the Lakers on the 5th. Then they get the Portland Trailblazers on the 8th of October. So Sunday, October 5th, we're talking a week from this Sunday. I mean, you may be listening to this show on a Sunday. It could be a week from today. The Warriors open things up with the Los Angeles Lakers, and we have no idea who is on this team. We have an indication that the additions will be, in some form, Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Gary Payton II, Seth Curry, and Will Richard. I think that's what you would expect to some degree to round out the lineup. But until we see it, we have no idea. Lakers also on the schedule October 12th, and then the Blazers October 14th. And then they'll wind things up with the Clippers on October 17th. 5 preseason games this season. Regular season tips off October 21st. So under 25 days from now, they'll tip things off in Los Angeles. That'll be the NBC. It's back. Yes, if you have not heard, the NBA and NBC returns this season. We'll get some late ones also. Some 10 p.m. I thought it was a half hour after original tip times, but some 10 p.m. games Eastern time. And some, am I saying that right? No, some 8 p.m. games Pacific, some 11 p.m. games Eastern time, and some 10 p.m. Central and whatever Mountain is 9. So you're getting some late games. For those of you that love your Warriors and are on the East Coast, get ready to stay up late till 1 o'clock in the morning multiple times this season. They'll have a game against the Clippers. that tips off at 8 p.m. Pacific against the Thunder that tips off at 8 p.m. Pacific. And then you got to go down to Portland in January that tips off at 8 p.m. And they have some more throughout the season, but a couple to begin the year. And those are obviously the big games on NBC is the Warriors. That's one thing I'm really excited to see is the NBA on NBC and just the music back. Another is, I don't know if I'm excited to see it, but I'm intrigued to see how Kenny, Charles, Shaq, and Ernie work on ESPN. I think the lack of commercials on TNT has always been huge. The fact that TNT lets those guys rip, is ESPN going to give them those same graces, or are they going to say, hey, fellas, you got to hit this out cue in 45 seconds now. You got to come in, do a quick ad read, one highlight. That's not going to work if that's the case. But a lot of things I'm intrigued about. The question I'm asking you in the comments, can the Golden State Warriors be one of the greatest three-point shooting teams of all time? I said likely not, but they do have some damn good shooters on this year's team. This is Locked On Warriors, everyone. Appreciate you for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend if you're already into it. And Monday, another episode's coming. A breaking episode will come if Jonathan Kuminga, if a decision is made, I should say. So be on the lookout for that. Until then, I guess I got to charge my camera. See ya, everyone.